Welcome back to the channel. Today I have the finals for you. I know this is supposed to be 4 rounds and there were 4 rounds of recordings, but unfortunately our round 3, the boys kept track of their base damage off screen on a phone and I could not tell, and I tried to work through it. It was just going to take forever. So I decided to just skip round 3. And it was actually a really good matchup. It went 2-1 for Anakin 5 against Admiral Piet red. So unfortunate, but it happens. We've got Anthony versus myself in the finals. We both went 3-0. And I would say Anthony has definitely the untested deck in this matchup with the Qui-Gon at Jedi Temple. A deck that I've actually been working on a little bit, but not enough to know what's coming at me in this other than sneak attacks. I knew I'd see sneak attacks. We're just drawing our hands, kind of getting ready to go. It was getting late at this point. We didn't get out of the store until I think it was 10:30 or so, which is late for me. This is not my first finals in a store showdown, but up until this point, I've never been able to win one. So I won the roll-off for initiative, and I started with a pilot Luke on the ground, which Anthony was like, what the heck? But it was just because I didn't have anything else. It's very rare that I don't get first-turn plays in this deck, but on this night, it seemed to happen more often than it should. So he comes down with Gunji, which also could be Gungi. I'm not really sure. I call him Gunji. I like Gunji. We're going with Gunji, guys. Everyone out there, it's Gunji. I go 3 into base. He Gunjis me in the face, taking Luke out, taking 3 damage back. I played the Sabine's Masterpiece. He sneak attacks a Ahsoka. This is a tough decision for me, trying to figure out what to get rid of. We're at 3 resources, going to 4. I end up throwing it at K2. I don't know what else I had in my hand, but clearly it was something. And then he's going to use the Force, kick her back to hand, and play out the Obi-Wan Kenobi Sentinel from set 5. Looks like I drew a Phoenix Squadron, which I get rid of. I can see I have a blue leader in hand. I think I was debating on whether or not I waste my ECL at this point. I end up playing black 1. I was probably being greedy. I definitely was being greedy because I knew that he had the Ahsoka and was just going to replay it, making me throw out another card, which would then exhaust the Sabine's Masterpiece. I end up throwing out a Chewie. I do flip my leader onto black 1 for my last resource, or my second last resource. That was a really inefficient use of resources this turn. I've taken 8 damage to base. He's only taken 3. We're going to 5 resource. 1 more resource for Qui-Gon to flip. I can flip now, but at this point, I'm stuck on a space plane. I ended up taking out his Ahsoka with my blue leader. Taking 3 damage back. He plays a Bright Hope to space and kicks back Gunji so that he can draw a card. While my board does look half decent, he's definitely been throwing up obstacles. Looks like I can see a change of heart in his hand. That was something I really didn't expect him to have in his deck, but it does make sense. I go into Bright Hope for 3, and then I think I do 2 damage to base. One damage to base. I can't remember what Sabine's Masterpiece does, so there you go. He's contemplating his move and whether or not he wants to use his Obi-Wan to get rid of the blue leader, which is probably a safe bet. He's only got 1 resource up. Can't do much. Looks like he has a fireball in hand. His Gunji is still in hand. I think he just has to clear that blue leader. Look at all these prestiges. I was hitting all the prestiges in the deck, that's for sure. I guess he could kick Bright Hope back. I just don't think he'd want to do that. He was able to keep me off base there, though, which is his game plan for sure. As we get to the bigger units, I kind of max out at Wrecker, but I also have the Radis in this deck. Which I found to be very, very useful just because Poe, whether he's in the leader position or out on the ground or up in space or wherever, he triggers the Sentinel. Because he's resistance. This is a pretty big move. He ends up playing Cunning to discard a random card from my hand. I let him pick. He gets rid of my A-Wing, which leaves me with a Chewbacca in hand. So I'm able to throw that on to the Sabine's Masterpiece. He claims, which he could have deployed there. I'm not sure if he missed it or he just did this on purpose. Maybe he probably just wanted initiative so that he could do something in space here. I'm just watching this back for the first time with you also. I don't really know what happened. I can't remember back that long ago. Change of heart. So we change our hearts, the Sabine Masterpiece with Chewbacca on it. Smart move. He's going to clear my entire board this turn. I end up taking him up to 10 damage on base, and I was just reading if the ping effect on Black 1 is a must or a may, and it is a may. Looking to see if I've got any Cassians or anything that I can play out of the resource row. He doesn't end up going right into Poe. Flips his leader. For some reason here, I claim, leaving all my resources up. I clearly had nothing. I could have deployed Poe after he died. I think I realized, like, as this happened, and I was like, crap, what a misplay. Because I could have taken him to 14. Plays a fireball. That was a really bad turn for me, not having anything to play. I think the multiple Ahsoka deploys and having to discard some really great cards really, really affected this game for me. He's up to 8 resources. I do end up deploying Poe, which immediately gets murdered by Yoda. That was tough. I was trying to figure out what to do here. I played the Phoenix Quadrant. It gets killed. He's got a Yoda. I end up playing BB1 for cheapers. That's all I had in hand. And I just scoop. There was no reason to keep this game going. I knew that I wasn't going to see what I needed to see at that point. And I don't think I saw a single Poe or Wrecker in that game. I think I even show here. Like, look at this. When I look through my deck, I'm trying to see where all 3 Wreckers were together near the bottom. Like, what are the odds of that happening? Like, I just can't understand how that happens so often, where the same card gets grouped together with itself. Like, it's insane. All right, we are on to game number 2. I don't know if anyone mulliganed in this. I think maybe Anthony did take a mulligan here. I didn't. I liked what I saw in my opening hand. I like that Anthony's a fairly technical player. It's a lot of fun to play with people that are at a caliber where he is. He does end up doing a mulligan. He wanted to show exactly what he had. He's like, it's just brutal first opening hand, which I'm not even sure if it is. Like, those 2 fireballs, like, if he could just keep me out of space for the first 2 turns, obviously you would have had to resource some pretty big units, which I know can be not what you want to do. I'll just take this time to say, if anyone is up for playing webcam games, I am getting that up and running and issuing the challenge out there to any and all people. Whether you're a content creator or not, it does not matter. I just want to play some SWU with other people that love the game as much as I do. So if you are out there and you do have a webcam and a way for me to hear what you're talking about, microphone, etc., hit me up. Discord link is in the description of this video, and we'll get that running. Hoping to have the first gameplay webcam game out next week if I can get it all up and running. So there he is. He did get another fireball, and whoops, my poor little Phoenix Quadrant A-Wing. Luckily, it takes him out as well, so way better than playing an A-Wing, because he could have technically possibly taken out 2 of my units with that 1 card, which is never good. I gotta be honest, I was feeling pretty defeated after that first game, so I was trying to play as proper as I could. I ended up going with an Echo-based Defender here because what I was trying to do was keep him off my base and deal as much damage as I could to his. So him playing Gunji, that was like a under curve play for him, which is fantastic for me because I'm going to get this hit and he's not going to be able to kill the Echo base with Gunji unless he has an upgrade. Looks like, from what I can see, he flips so fast. He's got a sneak attack. I think I saw a Plo Koon in there. Bamboozle, maybe? And these people are, they flip through their cards so fast, it's hard to see. I try to keep my hands as like still as possible when I'm playing because it's distracting when you're watching these back. But I understand why people do it. It's just habit and nerves and whatever else. Helps them think, maybe. He's playing under curve again. So he is exploiting his Gunji to play, I can't remember what that thing's called, Geonosis Patroller maybe, and kicking my Sentinel back to my hand. Which I was okay with. Like, having the K2 out there is awesome. Coming up on post deploy, knowing I have a half decent amount of cards in hand. He hasn't been able to get the Ahsoka up and running this game. There he has to spend all of his resources to get rid of that. Plus I get to do 3 damage to his base, which is exactly why the K2 is in there. It wasn't in this deck during my PQ run, but I ended up adding it in last minute. It was literally Saturday morning when I added that in. Geonosis Patroller comes into my base for 3. At this point, I have him at 11. I know that Poe's going to be safe for a little bit, so I end up going wide. I don't know if I have a Poe in my hand. I almost forgot to hit. Thank you, Anthony, for reminding me. Honestly, as I was going through all of it, I thought I did hit with him. So never want to leave a unit up when you don't have initiative. So he basically goes into my black one because he knows if the black one gets off an attack, it can kill his blue leader. We got him up to 19 damage on base. He ends up Plo Koon into my Echo Base Defender for 3 damage, taking 4 back. I go to base, puts him to 23. He didn't pay for his Plo, but I think he gets it here. There you go. He flips Qui-Gon, and I end up playing my own blue leader, taking out his Poe or his Plo Koon. That would have been a great time to actually, if I had a Poe in hand, it would have been a great time to actually ECL. I could have killed 2 units and survived. He ends up putting both his units into my Poe leader, killing it, and then he discards a sneak attack to play Bamboozle for free. Hate that card. Hate Bamboozle. He's doing a good job taking me into the later rounds. I usually like to be... Well, I guess we are pretty much done with this game if I can actually get some units on the table. It's kind of been a little bit of a back and forth where he's been controlling me, I've been controlling him. We're just killing key units at key times, making sure that we're trying to give ourselves the advantage. I do end up finding a Poe finally and sending him in with the ECL. I'll kill his leader, and then I will figure out whether or not I want to discard a card and do the 2 damage to his base, which it looks like I do it. We're on 7 resources. We're safe from a Yoda so far. So you'll have to kill this Poe if he can. Yeah, he has another blue leader, so that takes care of that. I end up playing an A-Wing, which will keep him safe from a Yoda deploy. He's able to use the Force, heal 5, and deal 2 damage twice the amount of damage for units that he has on board, including his Yoda. I ended up staying at 7 resources. I'm pretty much out of cards in hand, so I was trying to repopulate so I could finish this off. He uses all of his resources and the Force, does the 5 damage. I almost throw out the A-Wing because I'm just like, oh, things always die when Yoda comes down, but heck yeah, he survived. Back to 20 damage on base though, so I need to start moving that needle up again. I'm not exactly sure what cards I have in my hand. I was trying to do the math on how I could get enough on base. I was trying to do it this turn. So I was trying to figure out, do I flip Poe onto the A-Wing? Because I could do a guaranteed 5 damage. That would cost me 1, leaving me with 6 resources. I do end up going to base for 3. He claims. I end up playing the blue leader. I do not ambush in, and then I put a Poe Dameron, which is a 1-of in my deck, onto the blue leader, so it takes it out of the range of the Yoda. So now it's 5. It's a 7-8. I believe it's a 7-8. He ends up playing a Kelleran Beck, trying to search and find a Sentinel to shut this down. So fast on the flippy flip. I don't see a Sentinel. Gunji, Plo Koon. No, there's no Sentinel. Yeah, shows the Plo Koon as his best option, which still couldn't kill that unit. So that's it. That is game number 2 goes to me. So that one was pretty close. It was a lot of back and forth there, but I was able to get enough early damage to keep things rolling. Let's go over to game 3. All right, this is the third and final game. Who's going to win? It literally comes down to this. So I did take a mulligan. This is my mulligan hand. His hand was perfect, he said. Exactly what he wanted. If you can see in my hand, I don't have a first turn play. So I have to claim, which is like devastating. I'm sure he was ecstatic. Because it is very difficult to win when you don't have that first turn play. So again, the plan ends up being trying to stop damage coming into base. One thing that I like to do too is I play a few cards, usually between 3 and 4 cards of 1-ofs, and it just kind of keeps my opponents guessing as to what I have, right? Like the Sabine's Masterpiece is a 1-of. See, this worked out well for me because Gunji wasn't able to go into base and he wasn't able to kill my unit. So I know I'm going to get at least 1 hit. Well, he kicks it back to hand, so it ends up being a nothing for me. And then he uses the Force, brings the Geonosis Patroller back to his hand, playing out that Nebula Starfighter. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's draw a card, and then when it's played, and then when it's defeated, you have to discard a card. He's sitting on a Waylay. He's a Waylay in his hand. I got the a gorilla attack pod in my hand. That's another one of card. And the reason I have that in there, again, is just for like, I'm not seeing my wreckers. I'm not seeing the pose. Like, I may as well just have a one of something like that in there just in case. So I'm trying to maximize my resource usage. So I end up using the 4 resources to play the K2SO. I want units, right? So I'm looking to keep units in my hand. I keep all of these units. I'm pretty sure I get rid of the timely. I just want, I know I need as many units as possible because I'm already down. He ends up going 3 into base. Was that sneak attack worth it? I'm not really sure. I guess he just kicks it back to hand and then plays out that little fella. Getting the force back too, so that works out for him. So post deploy turn now. I ended up drawing another timely. I end up running over that little unit, overwhelming for 2. 1. Yes, the little guy's at 2-3. Another 2 to my base. I deploy Poe. You can already see it. I already knew since game 1 I got whooped by this. I already know that he's going to play the freaking Ahsoka. Yep. Sneak attacks Ahsoka out. I throw out another timely. And then I play to kill her. So I got the blue leader to take her out. Now my board is starting to populate. He does spend... Look at that. Someone actually paid for a bamboozle. I go 4 to base. Trying to catch up here. I still have my ECLs live. His leader hasn't deployed yet. Poe's on the battlefield. 0 damage on him. 2 damage on K2, but we already know that he's going to be good for another 3 damage even if he dies here. He can't Plo Koon me at this point. He ends up going into base for 2. I start to turn on the jets here. He deploys his leader, Qui-Gon, and I ECL, chuck out a card to make sure I defeat him, taking 4 damage back. This is important too because I know that, yeah, he could still Plo Koon and kill my Poe, but it would also kill his Plo Koon, which is absolutely important. He ends up playing a Geonosis Stir or Patroller. He can't kick anything back to hand because I believe it's 3 or less. I put another 4 into space, and I have kind of flipped this game at this point. So we were at 6 resources. I've got a lot on the board. We're going to 7. I know I'm still safe from a Yoda at this point. He's got to have something that answers. Looks like he has a blue leader in hand, so I mean that's going to be fantastic for him. Ooh, I don't know. He kicks the G. Oh, okay, yeah. Pays the 2 because it ends up costing 3 less. Is that? Oh, he plays it for free because he uses the Force. So Poe's dead. I'm just like, what just happened? Why did that only cost him 2? I should know due to me actually playing Qui-Gon. But the mind wasn't working right at this point in time in the evening. I still have a huge advantage on board. I go in for another 4 damage. I just feel like my Poe is safe out there with a 6 behind on him. I've got all my resources ready. He plays a Bright Hope. I go 4 more to base. Taking him to 21 damage. I'm getting him close. I play a Gorilla Attack Pod, which I get to stand. And I hit him for another 4 damage. taking him to 25. So grilled attack pod came in absolutely clutch. That's right. Jessica's hearing that. That's her angry word. She doesn't like the word clutch. But it did. It came in clutch. He ends up starting the handoff with a Keller and Beck trying to find a sentinel, but even any sentinel that he would have, it's a little bit too late at this point. Looks like he has an Obi-Wan, but I show him that I have the heroic sacrifice, and that is it. Poe takes it 2-1. It was my very, very first store showdown win. I was pretty pumped. Still never saw a wrecker. I didn't see a wrecker in any of those games. So it was a little disappointing to not see one, but I was still able to get the win. My other 2 Poes were at the very bottom of the deck. Yeah. That was good. Grill attack pod. It's a great card. Is it a 3 of? I don't think it's a 3 of. It could be a 2 of. It also works really well with ECL and Timely. So I would definitely recommend trying that in your aggro decks. I know it was popular back a year or more ago, but kind of faded from existence. But I ended up bringing it back for this one, and it paid off. All right, I want to thank everyone who tuned into this series. I'm very sorry that we didn't get the round 3 one. It was just going to be way too much work to figure out the base damage and stuff. So we're just leaving it with this. Thanks so much. Watch out for some new gameplay videos next week. I'm going to try to get Jessica to record at least one with me, and then hopefully I can get the webcam games up and running as well. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next one.